do you do that, or is that just a necessity that you do it no matter what?
It's just part of the job. Something you got to do. We got a lot of football to be played. We're on a short week, so we moved on to Carolina pretty quickly.
Joe, how frustrating is it when you get a guy wide open in the red zone, he tips it, you see another guy wide open just as you're releasing the football, the guy hits you? I mean, how frustrating is it to be just like, tenths of a second away from the big play and something like that on the opposite end happens?
It's a game of inches. It's how it works sometimes. It's part of the game. It's always frustrating, but sometimes games go like that.
At 4-4, halfway through the season, how would you characterize what you guys feel like your identity is on offense?
For the most part, we've been able to move the ball. We've been explosive at times. We just got to be more consistent, game to game, series to series, quarter to quarter.
We were talking with Ted Karras, just asking him about the leaders on this team, the captains, and any kind of messaging they want to have. And Ted said his demeanor is going to be his message. How does that work for you coming off a tough loss like that?
Well, it's not going to change the way I operate. It's going to be the same as I always do. It's a tough loss, but we've had plenty of tough losses here before. We're still in the hunt. Still a lot of football to be played, so we just got to get to work.
What could have worked better in the passing game overall against on Monday against Cleveland?
Just had to make plays. We didn't make enough plays to win the game, from receiver to quarterback to running back to offensive line. We just didn't win our one-on-one matchups, didn't make plays, didn't create, didn't do anything well enough to win.
What kind of difference do you sense in the offensive line at this point this year compared to what it was like maybe this point last year?
We got great guys up front, and they've played well for us. So I have all the trust in the world in those guys. They trust me, and we're gonna continue to get better each week.
Do you feel like you were in a pretty good rhythm on that first drive before the turnover occurred? Did you feel like things were kind of percolating a little bit?
Yeah, I thought we were rolling a little bit. Some calls didn't go our way, and then they got the tip, and for some reason we just weren't able to recover from that, and weren't able to find our groove again.
Is it shock to you when you talk about consistency being what you guys need to have more of, that when you look at some of the other teams, the AFC, you guys returning all your starters and even upgrading more, that consistency's been an issue 8 games into the season?
I mean, you'd love to go and score every single time you touch the ball, but it's not where we're at. It's not what we've been. Obviously, like I said, we got to get better in that area.
Did it get easier for you to handle the roller coaster of the NFL? Was that hard for you at first? And maybe was there a time where you felt like you kind of figured out the best way to do that? How challenging has that been?
Yeah, it's part of the job, and it's something that you adapt to. It's tough at the beginning, but as you play more football and you have more experience under your belt, you learn how to handle it. And just like last week we were the best offense in the league, and now all of a sudden we stink, and everyone thinks we're going to miss the playoffs and we're going to lose all these games. So it's such a roller coaster each week, and I think part of being quarterback is staying even-keeled throughout the season, throughout games, because everything is so up and down, and you kind of need that voice and that level-headed mindset on the team, and that's part of your job as quarterback.
What do you say to younger players who are going through like you did the first time? You said it got easier as you went along. Do you feel like I need to kind of talk to them about that as you kind of are riding it right now?
Yeah, it's it just takes experience. It's not something that you can really prepare yourself for. It's just part of it.
Are there times where you want to scream and yell and break things on the sideline or get upset? Or do you have to work at, like, I got to be Joe Cool, I got to be in control?
Yeah, that's just not really who I've ever been. I don't really feel the need to do that. I feel like I play my best when I'm kind of blocking out all the noise, good, bad, indifferent. That goes media throughout the week, and that also goes on game day when things maybe aren't going very well or things are going well, and just try to keep that same demeanor throughout.
What's the conversation like? You've talked about the kind of collaboration that the front office has with you in different things. As the trade deadline approaches, what are the conversations like, if any, that you have with Duke and those guys?
During the season, I'm not having. That's not my job. Those guys. I trust those guys to handle business the way they think is best for the organization, for our team, and so we haven't talked about that.
Are there other teams that y'all are going to be competing with to kind of defend that AFC title crown? It looks like a lot of them made some moves throughout the year. how do you feel like y'all are at roster-wise going in, and kind of how do you feel about this team as it's currently made up the rest of the way?
Yeah, I feel really good about where we're at. We've had some injuries and continue to have some injuries, but we're also getting some guys back here, hopefully pretty soon. So we gotta right the ship until we can get some of those guys back. Gotta find ways to win games. Guys gotta step up. That's part of the NFL. At the end of the day, it's a lot of teams it's a battle of attrition, and guys that maybe haven't played a lot of football for us are gonna have to step up and make plays and play well for us to win these next couple games.
Did you pay attention to the trade deadline at all? I know you're not on social media much, but were you?
I had people send it to me. That's how I usually find out about things.
So you got a lot of messages then?
I got some messages, yeah.
Short week of prep, but you still have time a little bit to study Carolina Panthers defensively, and interior of their defensive line looks pretty good. What's your assessment overall?
One of the best defenses in the league. There's not really a weak point of their defense. All their guys play well, play hard, play fast, and are sound in their scheme.
Joe, do you have a sense going into a game how much the time the defense is going to allow you, and how does that adjust during the game? Cleveland versus Carolina, and how does it adjust your playbook?
Yeah, you go into every game, and you never really know how it's going to shake out. Every game is different, and so you kind of get a feel for it the first couple series, what kind of game it's going to be, how you're going to have to play it to win the game, and adapt accordingly.
What do you like about Mike Thompson? What do you like about Trent Norman?
Both those guys have played a lot of football for us. Trent maybe hasn't got a lot of game reps, but everybody trusts what he does. You see it in practice. He's reliable. He understands each route and understands where we expect him to be. So, and then Mike has played a lot of football for us, come up with some big plays in some big games. Both those guys have all the faith for me in the world. They're gonna, continue to step up. I thought Trenton did great. Came in and made some plays for us, and Mike's gonna continue to make plays.
Big cliche, obviously, Joe, in football, NFL is it's not so much always about who you're playing; it's how you're playing.
Yeah.
Do you believe in that? No matter what happens in the second half of the season, in terms of your schedule, you guys play to your potential. You're not worried.
Yeah, if we play, the way we're capable of playing each and every game and each and every series, then we have all the potential in the world to win every single game that we go out there and play. Those are the kind of guys we have in the locker room and the kind of coaches we have. But at the end of the day, it's all about execution. If you don't go out and execute, you're going to lose the game.
You had said after the 0-2 start, everyone just take a deep breath and relax. Does that kind of reset? You mentioned everyone thinks you're not going to make the playoffs. That's all downhill from here in a bad way. Is it just kind of a reset of everyone take a deep breath and relax? We're good.
Yeah, we've done some really good things this season. We've come up with some big wins. We've had some big losses. That's life in the NFL. Obviously, we'd love to be 8-0. That's not where we're at. So we got to go out, get a big win this week, and then we'll go from there.
Is there anything that makes dealing with expectations externally maybe more difficult than when they're not there? Is there anything that makes a big difference? I don't know.
It's really just about the press conferences and answering those questions. We don't really talk about it in the locker room too much. It is what it is.
After 8 weeks, you're leading the National Football League in passing. What do you think you're doing best? What do you think has been the brightest spot of your play so far?
Yeah, I think for the most part I've got the ball out quickly, and I think since week 1 I've really done a good job taking care of the ball. Last game we had some tough breaks in that department, but I think for the most part I'm playing smart, playing fast, getting the ball out quickly and taking care of it.
I know it's not kind of your bread and butter, but do you think at some point you guys are going to need to rely more on the run and mix in moving forward?
Yeah, that's something we got to get better at. In the NFL, you got to be able to run the ball, and I think we really had some momentum there for a couple weeks. Had some good rushes, good yards per rush. Last game wasn't good enough. Just like I said, pass game, blocking, everything wasn't good enough. That was part of it, and so that's something that we need to improve on.
How do you slam the door on last week and get your mindset, Carolina, try not to be one-dimensional offensively, try to get the best package out there for you?
Yeah, that's already behind us. We're already on Wednesday, so we're on a short week, so we've got a lot of work to do as far as game plan wise, understanding the playbook, putting our new plays in, figuring out what new plays we don't want to put in. That's part of every single week, and so it's just shorter this week, so we got a lot to cram in.
I know you're not necessarily studying this because you're not going to go against them, but what do you think of P.J. Walker's throw to DJ
Oh my gosh, unbelievable throw. One of the best I've ever seen, to be honest.
What's the farthest you've ever thrown a ball in a game? Like,
In a
you ever
game?
had one that's been 68 yards?
The longest ever in a game, probably the Hail Mary against the Browns my rookie year. I haven't had a lot of opportunities to let one uncork like that.
Is that like something you look for, like that? You just can't wait for a chance to see how far you can throw one. It's pretty
If you're in a
rare.
position to throw a Hail Mary, you never want to be in that position.
First couple of years here, you were able to win games in a variety of ways, running it, passing it, and do you think you guys have the ability to do that this year, or can you only win when you get, 300-400 yards?
Yeah, you have to. In this league, you have to. If you only have one way to win the game, team's going to be able to take that away, and you're not going to win a ton. And that was, down the stretch, that's what we were so great at last year, was just finding ways to win. Might not be pretty, but we found ways, and we got to get back to that in those ugly, tough, divisional games on the road where things might not be going great for you. You got to find ways to win those games, and this year we haven't.
What were you officially addressed as for Halloween? Was that a ghost?
Yeah, I would say that's Ghost.
I was curious, last year, I guess, like, the knockout Cartiers were in hot demand towards the postseason. What kind of mapped out what you were going to wear for games? Did you expect it to gain as much traction as it has?
Last week?
Just in general, over the last couple seasons?
Oh, no, I just wear what I like, and people can do what they want with it. I don't really think about that too much.
Did it come across how many people dressed as you for Halloween? Did you notice that? Did people send you that? Did you get a bunch of
People send that to me, but I don't particularly enjoy seeing myself in that kind of. I don't know. It's just weird.
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah, it's very weird, but it is what it is.
Browns game was the first game that Jamar didn't play in. Did you notice any difference in how they had been playing as opposed to what they decided to do without Jamar in the lineup, or was it pretty much the same?
It was pretty much the same. It's tough to say what they would have done differently if Jamar had been out there. Just because, you can speculate and guess all you want, but tough to say.